guys, it's Schleich Horse Lover 200 here again, and today's video is going to be a updated barn tour of Silver Star Stables for September 2017. So without further ado, let's get started. So this here's our sign, and it says "Welcome to Silver Star Stables," and this is a really old sign. It's broken and everything, so I really should update this. So I'll have to put that on my to-do list. And then on both sides of the sign, there's a little pot of flowers. So they just kind of decorate it up a bit. And then over here, we have our two chickens. So this is our rooster and our hen. And then out back of our sign area, we have one of our pastures. And it's currently being used as the Marital Pasture. So this is Tilta, our Tennessee Walker mare. This is Bella, or Bella Fella, our Tinker mare. And then this, that there is Mystery, one of our Arabian mares. And Mystery and Bella are just snacking on some hay. And then here we have, Honey, one of our Halflinger mares. That there is Summer, and she was one of my paint customs. And then that there is Cinnamon, and she is a mini Shetland filly. And then this here is Golden Dawn, my Palomino custom. And then this is Sugar, and she is Cinnamon's mom. And then these are two Shetland ponies, Pinky and Pokey. And then this is Tars and Donna, and Tars is a Hanoverian and Donna is a Camarage. And then here we have more halflingers. So the mare is Rosa, or Aspen Gold, and the filly that is lying down, her name is, it starts with an S, Sunshine. And then the other filly is Lily. And then this is Cloud, our Tinker Colt. Camera has to focus. And then that is Flora, our Tinker Mare. And then we have Emma, our Shire filly. Firecracker, our Pinto Colt. And Violet, our Pinto Mare. And they just have a small shelter made out of popsicle sticks. And then there's a panda bear, and he's not really part of the stables. He just hangs out there pretty much. And then the box of Kleenexes is not part of the stables at all. That's just for beside my bed. Alright, so if you just walk down in front of the sign, and then over here, you'll end up by this paddock that we have in front of the barn. So this is Ginger, or Ginger May, our Tennessee Walker yearling. And then that is Lavender, and she is a Pinto yearling. And they have a small bag of pellets. And then they also have some carrots they're snacking on. Okay, so this here is actually the entrance to my main barn. And I built this barn with my family. So me, my brother, and my dad built it together. And it's an awesome barn. It stalls 9 horses, and it also has a tack room in it. So we're going to go through all that stuff right now. So when you walk into the barn, off to the right is Alaska's stall. So this is Alaska, Lizzie's Hanoverian stallion. And he has his apples and water right there, so he's nibbling on them. And then out front of his stall, he has his very own halter and lead rope. And all of the chain gates on the stalls, they clip and they unclip just with like a little hook on the stall. So they're not really like the most epic gates, but they work and they're fun. So yeah, down from Alaska's stall is Sophie's horses. So this here is Crystal, and she is a Lipizzaner mare. And then the colt is Lucky, and he is a halflinger. And yes, I know Lucky is supposed to go with Honey there, but I just wanted to put these two together instead because I thought they were cute together. And Crystal didn't have a foal. And yeah, I just put them together because I wanted to. And yeah, so anyways, they have a bale of hay and some carrots. And then out front of their stall, Crystal has her halter and lead rope. And then there's also a small bag of treats. And then moving on to the next stall down, we have the new horse. Well, one of the newer horses. This is Flames, and he is a Frisian stallion, and he is so gorgeous. Let's see, can I get my camera to focus on him so you guys can see his gorgeousness? Alright, the camera is refusing to focus on him, but he is gorgeous with his beautiful mane. Definitely one of my new favorites. I love that horse. So he gets a nice big stall, and he is boarded here. Yeah, he just is. And so he has his hay and his oats, and then out front on the clip here, out front of his stall, since he doesn't have his own halter and lead rope yet, there's just a bucket for giving him grain. And then down from Flames is Dora, and she is a Frisian mare, and she belongs to Leanna. And then that there is her red rope halter and lead rope, but her clip broke off of her stall, the front of her stall here, so it's just on this bench, and then this is also where we stack our benches. And then in the last stall on the right is Dynamite, and he is Steve's Pinto barrel racing stallion. And then that there is his halter. And then in the very back of the barn, we just have a few things. So here we have a few bales of hay. This is just a broom for sweeping out all the crud out of the barn. And then we just have some grain and some pellets here. And then of course we have to have a few posters. So here's a big Schleich poster, and then this here is a big poster of a beautiful horse, and it does say Breyer on it. I'm more into Schleich than Breyers, but I did get a Breyer sticker and put it there. Alright, so now we're going to start on this side and come down. So up here at the top, or I guess at the bottom, because this is top. Yeah, anyway, so down here we have Clover, and she is Emily's quarter horse. And then this here is Toronto, and she is Teresa's dressage horse, and she is a Lipizzaner, and she has her yellow halter and lead rope. And then this here is Stephanie's pony, and she's not really a pony, but yeah, anyways. So this is Stephanie's horse, and she is a Hanoverian, and she's the new Hanoverian. Well, one of the new ones. So, and her name's Jetta, so she's a gorgeous horse. And then out front of her stall, there's just a bucket for giving her grain, some feed, and some crates. So, the bottom one's actually empty, but the top one has some carrots in it. And then we have Samson, one of our Labrador puppies. And then here we have Steve leading Ace, our halflinger stallion, down the middle of the barn because they're getting ready to go for a fun trail ride. And then this here is Sarah, one of our barn hands. Let's focus the camera on her. Maybe. So yeah, that's Sarah, and she's using some brushes that I made in a DIY video. So if you want to know how to make these homemade Schleich horse brushes, just look that video up on my channel, and it'll be there. Yeah, so if you're interested in making them, you can find that video. And then she is brushing Bucka, our retired Persian mare, and Bucka is using Flora's halter, so it's a little bit too big for her, but it's the only halter we have that's almost right for her. So yeah, she's using that. And then they are out front of Frankel's stall. So this here is Frankel, and I don't know if anybody's watched the documentary about the racehorse Frankel, but I did, and it was awesome. So I named this horse after Frankel the racehorse. So yeah, and this horse here is one of the new Schleich Hanoverian stallions. So he's very pretty. And, well, this horse is actually not a stallion. I'm sorry, I called him a stallion, but this horse is actually a gelding. So yeah, that's actually a big difference. So he has his hay feeder and water, and of course his oats. And one more quick thing about Frankel, he, like Flames, is boarded here. So his real owner is named Mr. Hansen. So he just boards him here with us. And yeah, so that's it with Frankel. So on the other side of Frankel's stall is our tack room. So right by the entrance to our tack room is this little lamb, and her name is Snowy, and I got her one of the Schleich blind bags, and she's super cute, has the cutest little face, and she's just so adorable. So yep, she's just hanging out there, and then, whoops, saddle, one sec. Okay, there we go. And then, so if you just walk through here, you'll end up in our overstuffed tack room. Okay, so starting here with our saddles, we have some saddle pads. So these belong to Stephanie, so we just have her white one and her green one. And then, so this here is a pony saddle for like our Shetland ponies, like Pinky and Pokey that I showed you earlier. And then this here is Stephanie's saddle that goes with these saddle pads. So it's just a black one. And this bridle here, yeah, that bridle, you can barely see it, but that bridle goes with this saddle. And actually, all this stuff here except for this saddle were all handmade by me. So they turned out very nice for me. And then this here is Emily's Western saddle. And then this here is her Western bridle and reins. You can barely see it because it's buried back there, but yeah. So on this back wall with all the hooks on it is where we keep like our halters, our lead ropes, our bridles, our lassos, lunges, lunging equipment, sashes, just about everything goes here. And yes, I know it looks like a terrible disaster, but that's basically because nobody here wants to put anything away. So yeah. But anyways, over here in this corner, down at the bottom, there's some grooming kits with some homemade brushes in them. And then on this hook is where you're supposed to put all your lead ropes. But since nobody here wants to put anything away, there's only one lead rope there. So on this shelf here, we keep lots of different things. Most of the stuff is grooming supplies, but like on the top shelf here, we just have some grain buckets. So some of them, like this one, are by Schleich, and then we just have some that I've collected. And then this here is a show jumping trophy. And then on the next shelf down is where we normally keep some of the other grooming kits, but they're being used right now. So there's just a radio that I molded out of clay. And then, so this here is a grooming kit that was made by Horse Lover for Life 1122. So there's just some grooming supplies in there. And this, the thing at the bottom is Teresa's iPhone. It's just a little iPhone I made for her out of, what did I make that out of? A popsicle stick, I think. And then in this thing, there's just some dog collars. And then that there is a medical kit. And then underneath the shelf, we have, there's normally brushes in here, but they're being used. So there's just one small plastic brush that I made out of some like plastic that you heat up with water and then mold it. So it didn't turn out very good, but I still got it. And there's also a few other pieces of tack that were made by Horse Lover for Life 1122. So there's a few halters and lead ropes in here by her. I'm not going to dig them out because there's so much stuff here. But there's also a saddle that that belongs to Lizzie, that she made for me. So we did trade a long time ago, and I still have the stuff from it. So yeah. And yeah, so back to the barn tour. Over here by the shelf, there's another hook. And on this hook is where we keep our halters that we use like all the time. So these are the Schleich halters that I've collected, and there's quite a few of them, and I use these ones a lot. So they're just here on their separate hook. Alright, so that's it for the main barn. And so yeah, but if you like walk out of the main barn and hang a right, you'll end up over here with Leanna and Silverton. So this here is Leanna, and she's like my favorite Schleich rider. I don't really know why, but I just like really like her. So that's Leanna, and she's just in the wash stall here, and she is getting Silverton all tacked up to go for a ride because she's going to go do some show jumping in the arena with her friends. So you guys will see the arena later. But that is Silverton, and he is a camouflage stallion. He's got all of his beautiful tack on, so that's awesome. And then over here in the corner, there's just a small bag of treats. So if you come around the wash stall, you'll end up at the back of the barn. And out back here, we pretty much just use it for storage. So as you can see, there's a bunch of tack boxes and things. So we're just going to start at the top with Teresa's tack box. And on top of her box, there's a cat, and her name is Miss Taffy. So she's just a little orange tabby cat. And then inside of Teresa's tack box, if I can get it open, there's just one lonely bridle that she's not using right now. So just put the cat back up there. And then in this tack box, let me just, well, this here, we'll start with him. This is Jip, and he is a retired Schleich dog, along with Miss Taffy. She is a retired as well. And then this tack box just holds a few extra Western saddle pads, some trophies, some pieces of grass that I sometimes put in my pastures, not very often though. And then in this box, there's some Schleich food and plates and things, because sometimes we have picnics around here. Once again, not very often, so that's why they're just pretty much in storage. But and then here is some extra pieces out of the Schleich horse trailer that I took out because I took out the middle divider in one of them. So these were just part of the pieces. So they're just in storage here. And there's also some crates down there. And then in this tack box, there's just a bucket and some apples. Yeah, so not much. And then down from that, there's a small grooming kit, some watering troughs, a big watering trough, and then it looks like there's a bit of hay in there. And then this here is our blanket storage, and it's really a rabbit coop. So since we don't have any rabbits here at the stables, we just keep our blankets in this. And I just want to say I'm really sorry if the lighting back here is kind of dark or there's a few shadows or something, because we just we're at the back of the barn, so the lighting might not be as good. But yeah, so anyways, inside of the blanket storage, there's some really nice Schleich blankets that I'm saving for the winter. So in the summer and spring, I really don't use blankets very often. So these ones are just in storage. I really haven't used them at all, so they're practically brand new. So I'm just saving them for winter, because in the winter, like, every one of my horses wear a blanket, kind of. And so I don't have enough blankets for that, but yeah. So anyways, on top of the blanket coop, we had some more blankets, and I'm just going to go through these super quickly. So there's a full blanket and an adult blanket with that. There's 2 blankets here, and these were made by Horse Lover for Life 1122. So those were made by her. And then here we have some really nice blankets. These are the new style I'm making, and they're turned out super good. So yeah. And then there's just a random blanket here, and those just get stacked on top of this because they don't fit inside. And then over here, across from the blanket storage and things, we have our round pin. And for the round pin, I'm just using these plastic gates that I bought from Hobby Lobby. And I put like 2 packs of them together, and it made this beautiful, big, awesome round pin. And I love this round pin so much. If any of you guys have watched my previous videos or barn tours, you would have seen the old round pin, and it was awesome too, but this one I just like better because it's so much more realistic and it's bigger. So yeah, the round pin's awesome. And inside of the round pin, we have some of our wild stallions that need training. So this here is Domino, and he is an Appaloosa stallion. We have Apache, our Trackner stallion, and then this is Wildfire, our Mustang stallion, and then that is Wind Dancer, another one of our Pinto stallions. And then, of course, the round pin also has a working gate, so you can just open it and close it. So across from the round pin is our livestock barn, and we call it that because there's no horses in it. It's just like cows and sheep. so that we keep in there. And this is a retired Schleich barn that my mom bought me from a yard sale. So it's actually very nice. So it has nice big stalls. So in the big stall, we have our Black Angus bull. And I'm not positive these guys are Black Anguses. I'm just kind of guessing. That's what I believe they are. So that's what I'm going to call them. So that's the bull. And then the cow is Bessie. And then we have our 2 Black Angus calves. So they have their hay and they're just munching away at that. And then across the barn from this big stall, there's 2 more stalls. And in the bigger one, we have our 2 sheep. So they don't really have names. This one here is newer and has better markings. So this is like my favorite one. But they're just hanging out there. And then in the next stall down, there's nobody there because it's a pretty small stall. And yeah, so it's just empty. And the lid on this barn comes on and off. So I'm just going to close that because that's it for the livestock barn. And then just a tiny ways down from the barn is one of our horse trailers. And it's just parked here because it's not being used right now. So this horse trailer is super cool and I really like it because it's painted up real nice and it just has all kinds of doors and things on it, which I'm not going to go through all of them because that would take a really long time. But I'm just going to say that it's a super awesome horse trailer. And then this here is Teresa, and she's just cleaning up some manure, and she's not too happy about it, but she'll be done with it soon so she can go riding with her friends. And then around the little corner of the Stallions Pasture is our second wash stall. So in it we have Samuel, our veterinarian, and he is giving Buck, our little quarter horse, a checkup. And then on the little ledge wall thing of the wash stall, there is a grooming kit and a bag of treats. And then over here there is a saddle rack with a English dressage saddle on it and a Western bridle. Okay, so next I'm going to be taking you through our Stallions Pasture, and this is my favorite pasture. I'm not quite sure why, but I just really like this one. I think it's because it has the really nice Schleich fence around it, and this Schleich fence is awesome, by the way, so yeah. But anyways, so in the pasture we have Jock, our Clydesdale gelding. We have King, our Tinker stallion. We have Trickster, one of our Tennessee Walker stallions. We have Sparks, our other Tennessee Walker stallion. We have Rockstar, our Hanoverian gelding. Well, one of our Hanoverian geldings. And then this is Pepper, our Shetland pony stallion. This is Fireball, one of our Pinto stallions. And then that is Clyde, our Shire stallion. So this here is Cody, and he is a repaint of the Schleich wash stall horse. So he is a quarter horse stallion. And then this is Fury, and he is my all-time favorite Schleich horse. And he is a Mustang, and I just think he is gorgeous. And then this is Rocky, our other Clydesdale gelding like Jock. Focus my camera on him. There we go, he has super pretty braids. And then this is Champion, our other Hanoverian stallion. Okay, so that was the Stallions Pasture. Now we're going to move down into this little paddock. So this is actually a pretty big paddock, by the way. And so in the paddock we have Princess, our Arabian mare, Minnie, our Icelandic mare, and Jericho, our Icelandic colt. And of course, they're just enjoying some hay. And then right here beside the barn, we have Christy, and she is just getting Lizzie's bareback riding tack out, and she's going to tack up Mystic for their lesson that they are having very soon. And then here beside her, there's also a small pink Schleich grooming kit. So in it, there's just a blue curry comb and 2 black body brushes. And so these grooming kits are awesome. I have like 3 of them and I love them so much. And then on this bar here that is used for tying up your horses, on the end there's just a Schleich halter, just pretty much hanging out because it's not being used. Okay, so on the other end of the barn here, we have Adam, and he is getting ready to groom Coco, our Trackner filly, and she is tied up to the bar on this end of the barn, and then there's also a small bucket there with a sponge in it. Okay, so now let's go into the barn, and I'll show you what's in here. So to do that, you just pick up the roof like this, and you pull it off. And today, what I normally do is I'll set this over top of my arena for a riding arena roof. But for the barn tour, I'm just going to set it over here. So, yeah, that's the roof off of this barn. So it's really cool because you can take that off and then you can play in here or do whatever you gotta do. So, yeah, but in this barn, we have 4 stalls. And today, we have all mares in here. Okay, so we're going to start here with our 2 Appaloosas, Pearl and Perlina. So, Perlina is the filly, and then Pearl is the mare. And she is being petted by Jenny, one of the stable girls here. And all the horses in this barn have their hay feeder with apples in it, and then their water trough thingy there. And then, since it's feeding time, all the horses in this barn have a bale of hay as well. And then out front of their stall, there's a riding set that nobody's using right now. And then down from that, there is a wheelbarrow that we use for mucking out the stalls and bringing the horses feed. And the wheelbarrow is sitting out front of Mystic and Spotty's stall. So Mystic's the mare and Spotty's the colt, and they are both nag strappers. And Spotty's nibbling on some apples there. And Mystic, she's just hanging out. It looks like she's going for the salt lick over here. This is just a Schleich salt lick. And then, of course, they have their bale of hay. And then, just to let you guys know, all the stall doors open and close. So they just swing like that. And all the stall doors also have nameplates on them. But the nameplates aren't really accurate because this nameplate says Domino. But we have these guys in here. So we just switch them in and out. So one day there'll be one horse, next day there'll be a different one. So yeah. Alright, so on the other side we have Buttermilk and Dusty, and they are both Andalusians. And then we also have Blossom, our Albatiki mare. And she is busy eating her hay, and she as well has a salt lick like Mystic. And then out front of these 2 stalls, we have Sophie's English riding set, and we have another Schleich Grooming Kit, and it is exactly like the one out front, so I'm not gonna open it up and everything. And then we also have Teresa's dressage riding set. Alright, so I believe that's everything in this barn. So this is just an overview of what's in here. And then if you go this way, over here there's another paddock. And in it we have Ruby, and she is an Andalusian mare like Buttermilk. And in her paddock we also have Spike, our little goat, and they're just hanging out together. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the arena, and we're going to start at this end right here. So this is Lizzie's tack box, and she has the most tack of anybody. So there's just a bunch of saddle pads and polo wraps in here. I think there is a saddle and maybe a lead rope and a halter in here by Horse Lover for Life 1122. So she just has all kinds of stuff in there. I'm not going to go through it one by one, but I'm just going to say she has a bunch of tack in there. So that's her tack box. And then down from that, there's a hitching post. Post. And it is actually the middle divider out of one of my horse trailers. So I didn't want it to be like a 2-stall trailer. So I just took the divider out, and I'm using it for a hitching post. And then here there's just a pair of stairs or mounting block, so you can get up on your horse. And then there's also a small watering can. So if you come down this little alleyway here and then come around the arena, you'll end up right here, and this is where Kipper and Cuddles hang out a lot. So Kipper is the older dog, and then Cuddles the puppy, and I believe both of these dogs are labs. So I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, but I think they are. And then here we have Leanna's tack box. And on top of it, there's a crate with some brushes in it and a neck rope. And then inside of her tack box, there's a saddle pad and a bunch of boots. And I think there's a saddle in there and a bridle and a bunch of other things. And then here there's a pot of I can barely talk. Flowers. Sorry about that. Flowers. And then right there's a bale of straw. And then this here is Emily. She is the owner of the ranch. And she is watching the girls perform here in the arena. So she's just watching them. And yeah, so that's everything on this little corner. Okay, so in the arena, we're actually going to start down here. We have Lizzie on Starlight. And Starlight is a little pinto mare, and her and Lizzie look so cute together. So they're just riding around this corner, and they're about ready to go over this jump, and this jump, that one, and then these flowers that go with the water jump that's in the storage right there, are all new jumps. I got them at Toys R Us because they were on sale, and I just love it when Schleich goes on sale because then I can buy a bunch and save money. So yeah, obviously. So anyways, so they're about ready to go over this jump, and then here we have Stephanie, and she is on Cora, our Hanoverian mare, and she's about ready to go over the big brick jump. And then here we have Sophie and Electra is a Cameron mare, and then they're about to go over this jump here, and it is smaller than these ones, but it's also probably difficult in some ways. I really don't do jumping, so I don't know a lot about it, but yeah. So anyways, in the corner we have some cones, and we use these for our riding lessons when we have lessons in the arena. And then out front of the arena is our truck and our other horse trailer. And driving the truck is Tim, our truck driver. So I don't know if you can see him in there with the green shirt, but that's Tim. And then this is John, and they went together to take a horse to the vet. And John is like a jumper person, so he's shaped to be on a horse that's jumping in like a 2-point position. So he looks awesome on a horse that's jumping, but if you take him off, he looks pretty funky. So yeah, kind of weird. So that's why he has like his head sticking out the window, because he doesn't really fit very well in the truck. But yeah, so that's that. And then back here is the horse trailer. This is the trailer that I took the middle divider out of, so it'd be just like a one-stall trailer. And in the trailer is Dinah, and she is Dan's horse, and they took her to the vet. So she's actually a very pretty horse. Her tack is painted on her, so you can't take it off, and a lot of times I wish you could, because she would be even prettier without the tack on all the time. So there's like when her rider's riding her, she looks great with tack, but sometimes you just wish you could take it off when she's like in the pasture and stuff. So she's in there, and then over here is our jump storage. So out front of the jump storage is Dan, and he is the owner of Dinah, the horse that I just showed you in the horse trailer. And he was just waiting for her to come back, so she just pulled in the driveway in the trailer. So he'll probably go up and talk to Tim and John about what the vet had to say. And then down from Dan, there's a pot of flowers. And then over here, there's a cat. And this cat is identical to Miss Taffy. So I just have 2 of them cats. And this one here just doesn't really have a name. So, yeah. And then, of course, the jump storage has a gate that opens and closes. Alright, so inside there's not a whole lot of stuff because everything, well, almost everything is being used right now in the arena. But there is a few things. So there's some of these small little jumps. I know what they're called, I just can't remember. So if I've seen the word, I remember. But yeah, we have some of them. And then there's some pulls and like this X jump. And then there's a big brick jump. And then there's this jump. And then under that is the water jump. Okay, so before I end the barn tour, I just want to give everybody a quick overview of my stables. Hey everybody, so that is my updated barn tour of Silver Star Stables. I really hope you guys enjoyed it because it was super fun to make, I know that. And of course, if you did like it, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this one. And yeah, so I will see you all next time. Bye guys!